Hey guys, it's StrangeLuv here. I just got done watching the Spike VGX Awards, formerly known as the VGA Awards. I'm not really sure why they changed it to an X, or if the X is supposed to stand for something like Extreme, Experience, Excalibur, Xylophone.
Do you know they changed the name of the VGAs this year to VGX? Right. It's like the VGAs, but dirty, X-rated.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
This will probably be our...
Or just more extreme.
I'm not really sure Spike knows what it stands for either. But anyway, they showed a lot of different game trailers and whatnot tonight, so I wanted to take this time to sort of talk about some of the things that we saw. Now, the Spike VGAs have been on for a good decade or so, and they're not really something I normally tune into just because they haven't been geared toward gamers pretty much the entire time they've been on. It's mostly just this big, like, glitzy glam Hollywood award show, like how any other award show is. They have a bunch of actors and actresses that have nothing to do with video games, or they don't play video games, going up and handing out awards for video games. So it hasn't been geared toward gamers, and a lot of people were turned off by that. So, as a response, Spike decided to do an entire overhaul of their award show, which is actually quite impressive. I have to give them props for that. Slow clap. And instead of having it on Spike TV, they live streamed the whole event across a bunch of different gaming platforms and whatnot. Like, they showed it on Twitch, they had it on Xbox, PlayStation, and everything. So if you tuned in to the Spike VGX Awards, you were most likely a gamer, which is really interesting. It wasn't just because you stumbled upon it while flipping through the channels and saw it on Spike TV. So this time around, their audience was actually a bunch of gamers watching, and it wasn't like this big auditorium full of people with a stage and all this stuff. Like, it was just this really close-knit studio experience, and it actually felt like I was watching G4 reporting on E3. You know, how it's just like some people sitting on a couch talking about video games, and it was a lot more close-knit and homey feeling, and it was a welcome change. So I didn't think it was too bad. There were two hosts. There was that Jeff guy, I don't know his last name, and Joel McHale. Joel McHale kind of laid it on really thick with the sarcasm tonight, and I know that's typically the kind of character that he's typecasted as. Like, that's how he is in Community. He's kind of like that on The Soup when he hosts that. But tonight, it was just a bit much. He was really, like, berating gamers, and he just didn't seem like he wanted to be there at all, and he made that very clear. And I don't know if that was all scripted or what, because normally Joel McHale's a pretty funny guy, and I like his stuff. I like him in Community and on The Soup and everything else that he does. So I don't know what happened tonight, if he actually was just, like, drunk while he was hosting the show and kind of went a little overboard with the sarcasm. But it was a bit much for people. People were complaining on Twitter and stuff. It didn't really bother me too much. You just get over it. Who cares? I think they did well in changing it, but I don't really look to Spike TV as an authority on judging the games of the past year. I leave that to more of, like, gaming-centered websites and gaming journalists and stuff. So the awards part of the whole thing really wasn't that important to me, even though it is an awards show, so I can't even remember who won what. I know GTA won Game of the Year or whatever. But I wanted to sit and talk about some of the trailers that they revealed, because that was the more interesting part. And since the VGAs typically happen about 6 months out from E3, this is like our mid-year, like, gaming info surge, where we get a whole bunch of, like, reveal trailers and stuff that isn't at E3 or, you know, PAX or anything like that. Now, the first trailer I want to talk about was showed toward the end of the show, and that's, of course, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt worldwide premiere trailer. They teased at this a couple weeks ago with a 15-second teaser trailer, and today we get a 60-second Witcher 3 Wild Hunt trailer. Really? 60 seconds? That's the best you can give us? I feel like they're just dangling table scraps in our face with The Witcher 3, and it's just torture. I just want to see more of the game. Is that so much to ask? But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the trailer since it is so short, and then I will be right back to talk to you guys about it. So check it out.
We have been here before. We watch your petty world slumbering. You cannot defy the cold of our steel. You can only surrender.
I saw a longship made of the claws of dead men. The wraiths drove everyone to the shore. My daughter, too. No man who meets the hunt returns to this world. I returned.
Ooh, gets me all shivery. Now, we all know that The Witcher 3 is gonna be amazing, right? Oh my god, the environments are gorgeous. I just want to be in the world of that game. And Geralt, how you doing? But I'm really excited for The Witcher 3 whenever that comes out. I can't remember what the release date is or if they've announced a release date. I just know it's supposed to be early 2014. I know you can pre-order the game on Amazon. But if you guys know of a release date, please let me know. Now, there was another game that everybody was anxiously anticipating and waiting to see, and that's, of course, Titanfall. And Titanfall definitely delivered at the VGXs by giving us 2 reveal trailers showing us some brand new mechs. One is the Ogre, and the other one is Strider. And they also revealed the name of their robotics company that created the mechs, and it's called Hammond Robotics. Now, in one of the trailers, it had a 1-800 number where you can call Hammond Robotics. And I just couldn't resist, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a call so that you guys can see just what happens when you call 1-888-88-TITAN.
Hello. Thank you for calling Hammond Robotics. Your call is important to us. Please, stay on the line. The Ogre class is the strongest on the frontier. Don't forget to ask your sales associate about our complimentary live fire demonstrations and cockpit training.
Live fire.
The Atlas class is the workhorse of your military missions. With every 1,000 orders, Hammond Robotics is donating to relief efforts across the frontier. Ask your sales associate about our upcoming live fire beta tests. Bookings are going fast with limited availability. Call volume is currently at maximum. Please try your call again later.
Alrighty then, well that's that. But I'm super stoked for Titanfall, March can't get here soon enough, and Vince Zampella did toy with the idea of doing an open beta, but nothing is set in stone yet. They haven't said anything about a beta. They said they aren't planning on it just yet, but they have thought about it. So, yeah, let's all cross our fingers for that. Next up, they also showed Destiny, but it looked more like a compilation of what we've already seen at E3. They didn't really show anything that different about Destiny, and I really want to see more about, like, how the game works, because it's supposed to be, like, an MMO shooter thing, and I don't know, I'm not convinced that it's going to be as awesome as they're making it sound. It just sounds like a campaign with momentary bits of, like, multiplayer shoved in the middle of it, where you do, like, this co-op multiplayer blob in the middle of a campaign. It's just going to end up being a linear game, and that's what I'm worried about. So I just really wish that they would show a little bit more about Destiny and explain how the game works. But, until then, I'm just kind of, like, waiting for their beta to happen, and maybe that'll just explain it all for me. But the Destiny trailer really wasn't anything crazy. Now, this just in, Telltale Games is apparently producing games for everything! The VGX is opened by announcing that Telltale Games will be making a Borderlands spin-off game called Tales from the Borderlands, and I'm not really sure how that's going to turn out, because I feel like a lot of people who play Borderlands want to play it in the, traditional first-person shooter style, but, it might work out. Telltale is pretty good at what they do, so we'll have to see. Also, Telltale confirmed the rumor that they are making a Game of Thrones game where you'll get used to a whole bunch of characters and love them and then watch them get murdered in front of your face. Yeah, I can't wait to play that. I just hope that Telltale isn't spreading their writers a little too thin by taking on all these projects, because I would hate to, like, spread out the talent too much and then have their reputation get diminished because their writers are getting overworked and are running out of ideas to distribute among all the different series and whatnot. So, you know, hold on to what you have. You have a good thing, Telltale. Don't ruin it. Cash out while you're ahead. Now, they announced a brand new game called No Man's Sky, which is a procedurally generated science fiction exploration game. And judging from the trailer, it's this beautiful, cel-shaded world. And since it is procedurally generated, every little particle and pixel is created as you go, and everybody's experience, I would assume, is different from the next person's. You get a unique gameplay experience that way. And my favorite part of the trailer was when they went into first-person view in the cockpit of, like, the spacecraft, and they were shooting asteroids, going into warp speed, and I'm sure there's ways to go get into dogfights in space or something. So the trailer made me want to do a barrel roll. I'm pretty excited for No Man's Sky, and I think a lot of people are, you know, looking out for that too now. Broken Age did show a cute little trailer of their point-and-click exploration adventure game, and that's made by Double Fine, which was actually a Kickstarter project that I think they got, like, they said it in the show, it was like $1 million donated to them or something to create this project, and it just looks really cute. You know, it's not like anything crazy, but, you know, they have Jack Black, Elijah Wood doing all these voices for the characters for a fairly simple game, but I'd be willing to play it just for, you know, the narrative experience. That looks like something to look forward to. What else was there? Oh, Dying Light did a game demo, but it was mostly the gameplay that we've already seen from Dying Light, you know, of just people playing the game. It wasn't anything crazy, but I'm looking forward to Dying Light because it looks like it will legitimately make me pee my pants. And I can't really say that about a lot of horror games. I don't get scared by a lot of horror titles. So yeah, Dying Light, I'd like to give that a try, and if there was any way that I could get my hands on a demo, that would be awesome. But it looks so crazy and scary. So yeah, Dying Light. They showed The Division just briefly, but it was just talking about, like, their new engine. It was called, like, Snow Blob or something. I don't know what the engine's called, but it's their next-gen engine, and they talked about all the particle physics and how the environment changes and it snows on the ground and stuff, like, woo. I'm really personally not super excited for The Division just because I don't really know what it is. From what I can tell, it's just this post-apocalyptic world, third-person shooter, and that's it. Like, what else is there to the game? I don't know what it is, and so I need to know a little bit more information before I'm gonna be dropping $60+ on The Division. So, if you guys can sell me on it, give it a try in the comments, but I really need to see more of The Division before, you know, I get hyped for it. And that was pretty much it for all the reveals that, at least that I wanted to talk about, from VGX. The rest of the show was just a bunch of obnoxious stuff. There was PewDiePie doing a montage of him playing Dying Light, which I thought was really pointless. And then there was a rap concert at the end, doing all of the GTA music, and at that point, that's when I turned off the show. If you wanted to find any of the trailers that they showed at the VGXs tonight, they're all on GameTrailers.com, and I'm sure you could find them all on YouTube anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited for any of the games that they showed at VGX, and let's get the conversation going in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and until next time, this is StrangeLuv signing out. Bye.